Hey guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. It is Erica LaRose. And today I wanted to come up here and speak about something that is so neglected in society and so frowned upon in society, and that is self-love, okay? And as human beings, we are conditioned naturally to try to self-preserve, but I believe that in the day and age that we're living in, we're consistently told that, accepting ourselves and wanting to be ourselves is bad. You shouldn't want that. You should want to be somebody else, or a carbon copy of someone else, or just something else that's not you, unless you look like a supermodel, of course. If you look like a supermodel, then of course you should be whoever the hell you want to be, because you look like that. And sometimes we're living in a world like that. I'm sorry that I'm looking this way in this video. It's because my camera is just really weird today. I don't know what's going on, but please follow me and share this video with whoever you know, whoever you love, whoever you think deserves to hear this massage. I found myself in a place a few months ago where I was feeling like I was just so tired. I don't know if it's the coronavirus. I don't even know what it is. Maybe it was isolation and the having to think about a lot of things and confronting feelings that I haven't confronted in a long time, because it's so easy to just keep living your life and not confronting your true inner feeling, your true inner being. It's so easy to continue to live your life like that. Because it's easier. You wake up in the morning and you just live your life and you don't think about it. You don't think about anybody else, just yourself, and you don't think about anything. So this time of coronavirus has allowed me to reflect on a lot of the feelings that I feel within myself that I haven't been able to confront, like I said. And of course, everybody says the same thing. They're all saying it. Oh, this coronavirus has allowed me to see things clearly and a lot differently. But I really think that I've done some serious soul searching within this time. And one thing that I have found about myself and about everyone around you is that we're all going to wither away. And of course, I knew that already, but it hit me like a bag of bricks, because I began to realize that, like, regardless of what I feel or what I do, we're gonna wither, because we're human beings. Like, that's just part of the process. No matter what we do, we have no control in this life. We think we have all the control in this life, but we realize that along the line we have no control whatsoever of our destiny. Sometimes it's just what it is. But what we do have control of is the right now, and the right here, what we have right now, what we're experiencing right now, and how we feel about ourselves right now. And this is what's going to lead me to my next point, and that is that the world has a certain agenda of beauty, and an agenda that, if you don't fit into that category of what is considered, the stereotypical fashion of beauty, then, well, you're not beautiful. And it dawned upon me that for the longest time I was trying to just trying to fit a mold that I could not fit in, because not that I couldn't fit in it, because I could, but I just was fitting a mold to fit somebody else's agenda. By the way, for those of you who do not know, I'm Dominican, and which means that I'm Taino, African, and Spanish. And so I'm a mix of those three things, which is a wonderful mix, don't get me wrong. But I do believe that systemically in our country, the country of the Dominican Republic, not America. I'm not speaking about America. I'm speaking about the Dominican Republic. We're consistently told that if you do not have straight hair, you know, you're not this. If you don't have this, if you don't have the curves, you're not this. If you don't have a flat stomach, you're not this. This is why girls are consistently going to the Dominican Republic and getting the fat injected out of everywhere, even their toenails. Goodness, so that they can fit an agenda that the world thinks that Dominicans are, or that Dominicans should be. I'm sorry, I'm trying to fix this thing. That Dominicans should be, or that they are in general. And so I fell victim to this systemic oppression, in the sense that I was consistently straightening my hair and doing all this damage to myself, and self-hurting myself, because I felt like, hey, if I straightened my hair, I would kind of get away from the things that people say are bad about me, like my African roots and all of those things. I thought that I would get away from those things if I just kind of like tried to, you know, straighten my hair and, you know, relax it and make it straight and force myself into this mold that God never forced me into, that man forced me into. Now, I think that we all have a decision to make as people. We can't sit here and just blame everybody for the problems of the world. But at the same time, there is something that is so important that needs be said. And that is that depending on your environment, you will be what your environment dictates you to be. Which would mean that if my environment told me my whole life having curly hair and being this person was bad, of course I'm going to not want to be those things, and I'm going to try to just change those things about myself and not be those things. So coming back with the same topic that I was going towards, I was told that, you know, if my hair was a little bit too kinky, it's like, oh, it's time for a new perm. Like, you need to relax that hair, girl. You looking like you need a new perm in your life. You know, you looking like you need to be permed out. And that's something that I was consistently told, you know, in my life. And one morning I woke up and I just grabbed a pair of scissors and I just completely shaved, or not shaved, but I cut my hair off. Point blank, period. I cut off all the relaxed hair from my head. Not in any form of rebellion or anything like that, but in self-love. I'm sorry, this thing is like really... In self-love and self-preservation, I decided to make the bold-ass decision in cutting my hair. The one thing that, you know, in my culture is considered to be the absolute standard of beauty, having long, luscious, straight hair, I cut it right off. Because I felt like I needed to. I had to. Not to fit anyone's like, oh, like being bold, but because I needed to discover something about myself. And I found that in doing that, as silly as this may sound, like I'm ranting right now, you probably think I'm ranting, but I think that in me cutting my hair, I discovered so many things, and I feel as though it was the final phase of my metamorphosis. I've been going through this metamorphosis for about 5-6 years, where I've been really trying to define myself and choose my own destiny. And what I didn't realize was that in choosing my own destiny, the most important process was self-acceptance. Okay, you cannot choose your destiny unless you self-accept. And what do I mean by that? I mean that there's so many people who tell you, oh, you know, I'm so happy and I'm living my best life. I'm living my best life. You know, they're walking around, but yet deep inside within themselves, there's a little seed. And if they continue to water it, it's going to grow into a giant ass tree. And before they know it, they cannot cut it down. And that's the seed of the flowing river. The river that continues to flow and never changes, you know, that cycle, that cyclic movement that makes us feel as though we need to follow what others think is the best thing for us. Now, I don't want to be vulgar in this video, but I need to say what is needed to be said, and that is, this season of my life and for the rest of my life, I will be 100% whoever the fuck I want to be. Whether it fits someone's happiness for me or whether it does not. And I've found in this life that if you live your life trying to make others happy, you'll be a miserable fuck. You'll spend your whole life miserable. You'll spend your whole life feeling like you haven't fulfilled yourself, feeling like you are not good enough, feeling like you're not perfect enough, you know? And I think back now at my younger self. I think I'm doing this video for younger people. I don't even know who I'm making this video for, but if you need to hear this message, please escúchalo, listen to it, let it penetrate your soul. Because listen, if I could speak to my inner youth, my inner self, when I was a child, when I was at considered my prime, when I was, you know, the skinniest I was, no stretch marks, no anything. I was just fabulously beautiful. If I could speak to her, I would say, Erica, please love yourself. In this world, you're going to encounter people who are going to tell you, man, you're not good enough. You're too black. Your hair is too nappy. You're too this. You're too the other one. And I just feel like, man, there's somebody out there that needs to hear this message. You're not too, you're not too this, you're not too that. You are exactly who you need to be, and you're exactly who you were made to be, created to be, designed to be. By hands that are even greater than yours. By a love that is more profound than the love that you could ever search for or find in someone else's arms. And I found myself consistently looking for approval by others, by my family, by my cousins, by my mom, by my everything. And I just want to say something really quickly. Who the fuck cares what they think? If you look at yourself in the mirror and you love yourself and you look at yourself and you recognize, wow, this is who I want to be. I want to be this flamboyant, colorful rainbow. If that's who you want to be, glory to God. All I got to say is, be yourself and stop trying to be someone's carbon copy or imitation of something that you know very deep well inside in your heart you're not happy being. You know, you're not happy filling that space for somebody else. When at the end of the day, we all have our destinies. We all have our places to be in this universe, and we all have a place to play and a role to play in this world. And if you are going to sit your whole life trying to make others happy, you will never, ever, 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 mark my words, be happy. For the first time in my whole entire life, I have stretch marks. I have cellulite. I don't have the thinnest waist. I have crazy curly hair. I'm not who I thought I would even become. And I've startled myself because I've thought that in being something that I was clearly not, I was, you know, filling an agenda for my family and I was making them happy, until I realized that in me trying to make them happy, it was not making them happy. No matter what I do, I wouldn't make them happy either way. So no matter what you do, you're not going to make anyone happy. So you might as well just be yourself. That's all you can owe to yourself. You don't owe anyone anything in this world but to love yourself, but to raise yourself, but to ignite the flame within yourself. And as you can see me right now, I'm getting a little bit worked up because I feel as though I've been going through this phase of metamorphosis, and so many people have been, you know, telling me like, oh, you know, maybe you should be this color, maybe you should be that color, maybe you should, you know, waist train, maybe you should do this, maybe you should do that, maybe you should lift some weights because your arms are this, and maybe you should do that. And I just want to say, fuck that. Be whoever the fuck you want to be. If it makes you happy, if it brings you up, if it uplifts you, if being colorful, if being flamboyant, if wearing crazy earrings, if, you know, getting tattoos all over your body, if that makes you, then guess what? That's who you are. Stop trying to, you know, live somebody else's dream that they're trying to live vicariously through you. Another thing I have to really say really quickly, this is so important, and it's that if you don't love yourself at 300 pounds, if you don't love yourself at 200 pounds, if you don't love yourself at 280, by the time that you get to 130, you still will not love yourself. Because love does not come from the outside. Love comes from within. And that's a lesson that we're not taught in society. People tell us that you'll love yourself if you lose weight. You'll love yourself if you have a thinner waist. You'll love yourself if you have perfect hair. You'll love yourself if your nose is perfectly straight. You'll love yourself if your lips are popping. You'll love yourself if this and the other. You'll love yourself if all of this other stuff that's so fucking irrelevant. Your physical attributes. You'll love yourself because of those things. And I just want to tell you right now, you won't love yourself. You know? You'll like what you see in the mirror, but there's issues that are so deep rooted behind that theology and that thought process that will leave you fucked up. You'll love what you look like, but deep down inside, you will consistently beat yourself down because you are trying to fulfill, again, what I just said, somebody else's agenda. Okay, somebody else's agenda of what you should be. You could have a whole 6-pack, you could have a whole 8-pack, okay, but you're still insecure. You could have the nicest body, but you could still be walking around these streets insecure. And I'll tell you why. Because you thought that in you losing all that weight, or in you, getting that 6-pack, or in you achieving that, you thought that your physical attributes were going to make you a better version of you and make you happy, but that's not true. What makes someone happy is when they learn to self-love themselves from the beginning, so that when you are 300 pounds, when you get to 200 pounds, when you get to 180 pounds, 130, you will love yourself. You need to first understand that in order to get to that place, you need to first accept, okay, the unacceptable. Accept that you're not perfect. Accept that there's things about you that you may never like. But guess what? That's what makes you beautiful. That's what makes you beautiful. I can't tell you how many times I've heard this saying, beauty begins when you accept yourself. And it dawned upon me the other day, like, damn, that is so true. And we're living in a society that tells us, yeah, accept yourself. Yeah, that's dope. Accept yourself. That's great. But, you could always improve. You could always, get your eyebrows done a little bit better. You could always get a little thinner. You can get small arms. You can do this. You can go, why don't you inject this? Why don't you suck this out? Why don't you do... That's the world that we're living in right now. And so, this hateful self-hate agenda continues to revive itself through the generations, because the parents didn't love themselves, so now the children don't love themselves, and it's just a continuous cycle of lack of self-love. And I've been on this journey trying to figure out, what is it that's missing? What is missing about me that's wrong? Why is it that people have looked at me in my life and thought, Erica, you're beautiful, but you could do this. You're talented, but you're missing this. Or you have a nice body, but your stomach isn't so flat. Or your hair is, but you could do this with it. You can go relax it. You can go do this. Where is that projection coming from? And why am I accepting that? So you see, a lot of people in this world that are miserable, they're going to do something. And I'm going to tell you now, so that you know this for the rest of your life. Hurt people. And people who go around projecting their negative feelings upon your life, those people have deep-rooted issues. They have a seed that has grown into a tree within their own being, and it has enabled them to go around The whole city, Gotham fucking City, telling everybody, guess what? Maybe, you know what, if you did this, you would be better. Maybe if you did that one, maybe if you fucking did your own thing, you would be better. Maybe if you accepted yourself, you would be, maybe if you looked in the mirror and took accountability for who you are, instead of trying to tell everybody else what they should do, why don't you do that? You know what I mean? I'm pretty sure you'd be much happier. And I know this is a little long video, but I just needed this to be posted out there. Somebody needs to hear this. Please, the first step to growing and healing from pains that have hurt you in your life is accepting yourself. Accepting your imperfections, accepting your cellulite, accepting the things that you cannot change. And I'm on this journey as I'm speaking. I haven't completed my journey. I'm still on it. And every day I'm growing more and more, and I feel stronger and more beautiful and more powerful, because I finally, for the first time in my whole entire life, have taken my own heart into consideration. My own feelings into consideration, what I want into consideration. You cannot find self-love in another's arms. You cannot find self-love through dating. You cannot find self-love through others' approval. You cannot find self-love through your family's approval. You cannot find self-love in reading magazines. You cannot find self-love in watching YouTube videos about self-love, even though this is a self-love video. But you can only find self-love within yourself. The key of self-love is within you, and only you can open that box. Only you can open that box. And that's the message for today. I hope that you receive it. I hope you share it. And I want you to understand and see that you're beautiful. No matter what society says that you are or aren't. Maybe you wear black every day and people say, ugh, a little goth, or ugh, you're so emo, ugh. If that's how you feel on the inside, rock it, break it, shake it, show them who you truly are. If you're one of those people who are like a little hippie, like me, I feel like a little hippie. I'm totally on my hippie vibes lately. Rock it, do your thing. Be proud of yourself. Be loving of yourself. Nurture yourself. As humans, we don't know how to nurture ourselves, so we go around nurturing others sometimes, and we forget to nurture ourselves. Please do not do yourself the disservice of not nurturing your love for yourself. Thank you for taking the time out of your life, if you have, to watch this video, and please share it. And if you're not subscribed to my channel, please subscribe. Thank you so much for your time. Much love. I just want to say that I spread my love out to you, my good vibes and my energy of positivity. And I want you to know that even if no one in this world has told you that you're worth it, you're worth it. And that I love you. And I want you to look at yourself in the mirror and realize that you are perfect just the way you are. All these people in this world right now who are beauty gurus and influencers, you see them in pictures and you think, wow, they're so perfect. But what you don't realize is that they're filtered as hell. They're using Facetune to the death of it, almost breaking the app, because they have self-love issues. Don't be like that. Don't be that person. Don't be that person. No matter what people have said about you, no matter how much they've judged you, no matter how they said that you're fat or you're too skinny or you're too this, you're too the other one, I want to tell you that you're worth it. You're worthy. You're beautiful. You shine. And stop trying to live based upon others' projections of who you should be. Project yourself to the universe. Show the world who you truly are. And that's my message for today. Thank you so much for listening. I love you all. Hugs and kisses. Bye-bye.